Hey guys, welcome to the Dan Miller Show. Welcome back. Um, so the Bills have completed 2 days of training camp. So far, so good. Everybody's pretty much healthy. Um, besides, you know, Shavers, they got hurt last year. Late in the Jacksonville game, and so far in 2 practices, DJ Moore has been the guy. Josh Allen, DJ Moore. Made a great catch in the rain. I'm here in Buffalo and it was not raining out here in Kenmore and Tonawanda area, but in Rochester it was raining cats and dogs, I guess, and everything. And so for the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, did his thing, and the offense had, I say, a pretty good day, and defense had a better day today. Um, in day two, and you know, it is good to see too. DJ Moore making that catch, which was nice and everything. And there's videos out there. I'm sure you guys probably seen. Listen to it and everything. And the Bills, uh, you know, made a cut with Virgil, the wide receiver, because he didn't pass his physical, so they cut him and signed somebody in day two. You know, so what to look for. It's pretty, amazing when you're there and stuff like that. I will be there August 18th for the open practice and everything. I'll be there to associate. So hit and like, subscribe to the channel so you can see. I'll post the videos and stuff like that, and I'll talk about my experience there in Highmark, the new Highmark Stadium, and I'll have that up here. So hit and like, subscribe to the channel so you can follow me, help me get to 100. And I thank you guys for the ones that did like and subscribe. You know, I'm hoping to go to the Bills Houston game in Houston, Texas. The guy, I'm sure many of you know, he came up here to Buffalo and stuff like that. He lives in Dallas. Sir Baby, shout out to you, man. Hopefully I can get down there and we can meet up, hopefully, and stuff like that. So if you see this, what's up? Like his content, check him out. He's on Twitter and YouTube and everything, so check him out there. And then day two, the Buffalo Bills in their training camp. Josh Allen threw a 60-yard bomb to DJ Moore to the house. Maybe would have been tackled or whatever because there's no pads on yet. Basically people were saying, oh, in your PJs and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But as far as that stuff goes, that's great. And then he did a dig route, whatever you want to call it. And he took that to the house. And I think it was Alfred he beat, or the 60-yard bomb he beat. And Alfred might have slapped and stuff like that. But like I said, nothing. Can't do nothing with the linemen stuff. You want to look out for. Cushenberry was there, getting some work in. Just the left tackle we're going to watch out for and everything. So we got to see what happens with that and everything as it progresses. People talk about, the defense, how they had a good day. Harrison, it's going to be interesting. Bishop, he had a breakout year last year. We all know, loved it, but that was under McDermott. And now that, even Jim Leonard, when he talked about the Bills' defense and everything in his press conference yesterday, and for the Buffalo Bills, we'll see if he could continue that breakout, and I think he will. He seems like a real smart guy, and I think that would help Buffalo Bills, and I think Cole Bishop will be that guy. He would be, C.J. Gardner Johnson. He's another guy, posting stuff about camp. You know, and he's got to be careful with that. I guess he's doing the 10 days stuff with that at camp. I forget what he's calling it, but I think he got an interception, but that was Kyle Allen, as quarterback. So it worries me, our backup, but it was terrible. Or no, Joe Andreessen picked it off, Buffalo Joe. So until the pads get done, we don't know. So that's when the real test, which could be Saturday or Monday. I think it's going to be Monday. Also, too, I think Monday or Tuesday, we'll have the schedule out for the jerseys. They're going to wear them twice. The Nickel City jerseys and the blue helmets, they're going to wear that twice. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe in person, if I see it live, I will be like, okay, we'll see. But the helmets, I like the helmets. I like it going all the way around in the back, from the sides, the charging right here, all the way around, there, from the side, basically your ear all the way around, from ear to ear, basically. We could have done that. I mean, look at this blue, blue head. But what if, you had the helmet blue like this, and the buffalo was red, like this, with the blue stripe here? You know what I mean? Why couldn't you do that? Blue helmet with the red buffalo right here, or the bison, I should say, and then, the blue stripe, the blue streak, if you wanted to call it that, like, it's not too much blue on blue, you got like that, that'd be pretty cool. Even if you did something like this, 3 buffaloes like this, the bisons, throughout the helmet, from back to front, with the blue helmet like this. See how the red outline, but this was red instead, you know what I mean, of the charging. That would have been different, you know what I mean? Cool. How? You could have done it on the jersey itself if you wanted to, So maybe next year we'll see. When Josh Allen talked about it, he was like, "Oh wait, I gotta say something about the jerseys. I like them. They worked hard on it. They told you." To me, I read that is they told you to say that. They're like, "Hey, Josh, we got a lot of negativities about the jerseys and the helmets and stuff. So please say something good about it. Please, they're gonna sell no matter what. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna buy them. I'm gonna buy the helmet. I'm gonna buy the jersey. I want the standing buffalo one. I want the white helmet one. I want the red one and the blue one. So I gotta buy all those helmets. I want to get those. I'll put them behind me here, and you guys will see them. As soon as I get them, I'll post it right here, and then I'll put them on the shelf and stuff like that. Maybe I'll start with the mini ones. I'll get the mini ones first, but the bigger ones I'll get, at some point, and I'll get the jerseys. I don't have the red one. I want to get a white one. Red one. Now I got to get the Nickel City. So I have the blue one. So I got to get the red, Nickel City, and the white. So I got 3 jerseys to get. And then the last year whiteout ones that they wore, so I got to get that jersey, which they're not wearing, by the way. And they are going to wear the red helmet too, but that'll probably be like Christmas in Denver when they play in Denver on Christmas. So it's on this year, with day of the week. But yeah, it's just, to me, we'll see what happens with that and everything. But, I'm looking forward to, training camp, and I'm looking forward to that and everything. And listen to It's Always Game Day in Buffalo, Shout Podcast, Lockdown Bills with Joe Marino. You got Sal and Matt as well. And, and they're there at camp, or they go there and come home and stuff like that, first thing in the morning. And then I was listening to WGR, and they were talking about food at the, blue and red scrimmage, because it'll be later in the afternoon. And when I go, it'll be 8:30 in the morning. So, I'm going to get there early. Maybe they'll have like a breakfast pizza or breakfast burrito. I mean, Tim Hortons in there, get me some coffee and donuts or ice cap or something, first thing in the morning, so I'll be bright and early. But like I said, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and rate and review, especially when that's coming up, in 3 weeks, 3 weeks time. So I'll do a podcast again. The Bills practice. They practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's a day off in there somewhere, and then they have the next weekend. They'll have the blue and red scrimmage. Obviously, I will not be there. I don't have season tickets, so and then we'll get my review on that and everything, and then training camp will end. Pretty much right before the official scrimmage, blue and red scrimmage, or red and blue scrimmage, however you want to call it. So we'll see what happens with that. And but the Bills made another signing today at corner. The Buffalo Bills have signed cornerback DJ Miller to a 1-year deal, the team announced Friday. Miller previously spent the last 2 seasons in the UFL with the Michigan Panthers in 2025 and Columbia's Avatars in 2026. He recorded 5 interceptions, 20 pass breakups, and 62 tackles in 21 games. Prior to his UFL, Miller played collegiate at Kent State. He is from O'Fallon, Missouri. Miller will wear number 46 with the Bills. And with that move, Wade Owens gets released. Safety Wade Owens gets released. So, it's always moves in camp and stuff like that. So, corners got to battle for who's going to be the number 2 guy behind Benford, and linebackers, who's going to do that. They're rotating with that. Elam Orr is, doing reps right now because we got 2 guys, Dorian Williams and Benford, are out. And we got, he's getting those reps in and getting those work. So we'll see what happens when those guys come back, or one of them or both of them. We'll see how they do the rotations and stuff like that. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. So, but he's definitely going to be a starter, and he will be there starting, very soon and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see that in person. But we'll have one preseason game by then. So, we'll have a preseason in a few weeks. Was it 2 weeks from this weekend? Yesterday or tomorrow or Saturday. So we'll see what happens with that and everything. So hopefully, we'll get there. I had to watch the video of DJ Miller. I almost said DJ Moore. DJ Miller, he has the same initial as me, so I'm in there, in that Miller show. My middle name is Jay, so, DJ Miller. So, hey, we got that guy, so I'm rooting for the guy. So, you better make the team. But it'll be interesting to see once the bag gets on next week, probably Monday. We'll go from there. We'll see who does what, and I'll try to get to you guys quickly as possible. I know we went through 1 day and 2 days already Wednesday, Thursday. They're off today. They're back Saturday, and then wrapping up. As we get close to the end of training camp, which is short this year. Fans will be there tomorrow, Saturday, and stuff like that. So hit and like, subscribe so we can, get more content from me. And if there's something, you want me to talk about, and I will make a comment, and I will get to you on the next episode. Thank you. Go Bills.